and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I'm just a girl who likes reading romance, romancy, fantasy, paranormal, any kind of book in general. And I also happen to have cerebral palsy, and it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to my channel. I hope my videos can make your day just a little bit bright. In today's video, I'm going to be answering the questions to the Read with Pride book tag created by Samantha from name is Cozy with Samantha, Jess a Piece of Books, and Christy from Christy Reads a Lot. The first question is a queer book that everyone should read. The Shilohverse by Jessie Walker. The first book is called Where There's a Will. The second book is called If There's a Way. Then there's a novella called Still Beating. After you read Little Bird, you read Every Breath After. Where There's a Will and If There's a Way, they're going to become audiobooks. Where There's a Will, the audiobook comes out in August for the first part of Will and Way story, and the second part of their story, If There's a Way, releases in September on audio. So you bet when those audiobook releases, I'm going to be rereading those books. A queer character you connected with. Read The Rest of Our Story by Tal Bauer. It's a hockey romance, and there's a side character named Brody. He's one of the hockey players, and his story just tugged at my heartstrings because Brody doesn't know how lovable he is, and I just connected with Brody. I just want to protect him at all costs. A queer couple you're rooting for. Since the show 911 came out, I've been watching the show, but I started watching the show because I saw these Book and Eddie ships videos on YouTube, and I love Book and Eddie. I want them to become canon in the show, but I stopped watching the show when they killed off Bobby. But I'm still rooting for Buck and Eddie, even though in the interviews with the cast members and the showrunners, they say it's never going to happen. An underrated book, The Island by Briar Prescott. It's about Dylan has always had a crush on his childhood best friend, Adrian. They grew up together, they're best friends, but then Dylan leaves town when Adrian gets engaged to someone else. Dylan comes back to town for Adrian's bachelor party. They go on this trip to the Bahamas or something, just the two of them. And while they're there, they go on this mini plane, and their mini plane crashes. And when their plane crashes, they're both stuck on this deserted island for 2 years. And that's where Adrian starts to look at Dylan in a different way, more than just friendship. And Dylan decides he's going to take his shot while they're on this island. But when they get rescued, Adrian has to decide if he wants to stay with his fiancée or be with Dylan. Top 3 queer romance authors you will always recommend. Tal Bauer. I will always recommend Tal Bauer. I'll read anything he writes. His most recent book, The Fall, is one of my favorite books of last year. Jesse Walker and J.P. Joseph. Favorite paranormal or fantasy queer romance? A book that I read this year is Even in Death, the second book to Randy the Garber series. Now, the first book was just okay, they got us up. But Even in Death is a million times better. It's an romantasy that gives me medical vibes. If you didn't like the first book in the series, Guidance of, push through that book because you need to read that book in order to understand this book. And oh my gosh, this book is so good. This is my favorite romantasy of the year. Rivals to Lovers queer romance. There's a lot of Rivals to Lovers queer romance books, but from the top of my head, all I can think about is Ice Out by C. Ritchie. A queer book for the summer. Even the cover of the book over here, I think it's called Storm and Sea. This is an romantasy with mermaids. And I read this book last year. This is about an exiled merboy from the sea. So he can't be in the sea anymore. So he goes to this coastal town and lives amongst the humans and hides the fact that he is a merboy. But his happy life changes when the prince of the sea comes to his coastal town, and he also happens to be a merboy, and he finds out the other merboy secret. I don't know. Mermaids in this coastal town just scream summer to me. The last queer romance you've loved. Bone Deep by J.P. Joseph. I read an arc of this book. I give this book 5 stars. It's the second book in his Damatron series, and I loved it. About a football player named Ryan and a lawyer named Spencer. A queer romance worth the hype. Hunt the Villain by Rena Kent. I love Julian and Vaughn. Queer book on your TBR. Neurovance by Alexandra St. Pierre. This book, so many good reviews on Bookstagram accounts. And Ivory by Nyla K. The last book in her prison series. I really want to read it. I just haven't read it yet because it's 1,000 pages. And the last question, queer romance releasing later this year you want to read. Something Venom comes out June 30th. And in August, Silver Sweet, the second book in the Cobalt Empire series. It's Rockstar. We're following Tom Cobalt, and I'm so excited for this book. Those are all the questions to this tag video. Please let me know what your answers to these questions are. Happy Pride Month. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. That would mean the world to me. And I'll see you Friday. Bye.